Dear.
Good morning, Janice.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
And a happy belated Valentine's.
Yes, happy post-Valentine's.
Yeah.
It was a great Valentine's Day. We had a little bit of chocolate here at beadshop.com.
A little bit of chocolate.
Because, you can't bead without chocolate. I know that you guys know that, right? Beaders and chocolate go hand in hand,
and we hope you all had a nice Valentine's, too.
Yes.
And got some good hugs in.
That's right. Hugs. 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 All right. Well, here we are. It's Facebook Live, right, from beadshop.com, from our headquarters here in Redwood City, California.
Yes.
I'm Kate Richburg, and I've got my sidekick, Janice Parsons, right here. And today is kind of a big day for us. We're doing our first bead along with our Stitches in Time project that we're going to get to in just a second. But I have, so, as always, people write in during the week and show us their great projects. The beader showcase that we've got coming up, Grace, your the earrings we're putting those up pretty quickly, I think. That was a piece that someone sent in.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's a great earring piece, so watch for that, you guys, our upcoming beader showcase. And I got a call yesterday from someone who, and this is a story I haven't told you.
I heard you on the phone.
I haven't told you about this yet. I said, Janice, I have a story for you for Facebook Live.
Okay.
So we got a call from a viewer and a customer of ours named Vicky.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Vicky said, we were chatting and we were talking about, what to do with wax linen, and she was kind of exploring her options with that. And then she said something that I thought was just the coolest thing. She had said, we had spoken previously, and she said, well, Kate, you and Janice have this rapport, like a friend of mine and I have had. We've known each other since we were in, it's 8th grade or something. And then she also said, she goes, I hope this doesn't sound too funny, but sometimes I watch you all on her big TV, and I take a nap. So I can listen to the two of you talk while I nap, and it's like just hanging out with friends. And you know what? In my head,
fabulous.
I thought the same thing, because I like, sometimes when you're hanging out with friends or you have like a day-long event, you're just sitting around and you just kind of sit back and close your eyes and you hear all your friends chatting. So I thought that was such a cool thing.
What a nice thing to say,
So Vicky,
thank you.
yes. So enjoy your nap, Vicky. And we love it.
We need to get more rest.
Yeah, we do. We need more naps.
We all need to get more rest.
Gracie, it looks like I've got that question and some hellos.
Cindy says hi from Georgia. Julie says you're so cute with your coffee. Kathy says good morning, ladies. Gwen says hello, excited to start her bracelet.
Yay, my mama.
Yeah. Melanie from Canada. Faith, so great to see you guys live. Mike from Texas. Susan from Pennsylvania. Faith from North Carolina. Cindy from the mountains of North Carolina.
Oh my goodness.
We've got New Jersey, Calgary, Alberta, and then we have Spain. And Kate, did you do something different with your hair? It looks super cute.
Thanks. Thanks. I did. Was that a question from my mom?
No.
Was it my mom? I cut my hair. I did. I cut it a little bit. We'll see how eventually how short it goes.
More.
I cut not yet.
Oh, I thought you cut it twice.
I just have it back. No, I just have it back right now.
Oh, okay.
You can see. I'll take it out.
It's Cindy who asked.
See?
Okay.
Yes. So I'll put it back up.
Clever. Like,
well,
there's the out and then the in.
right. So I can
the inner
have it
hair.
down.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thank you.
Looks great.
Thank you. So thank you for noticing.
Gita says hi.
Hi, Gita. It's great to see everybody from, we always like to say it's our international worldwide beading community. It's super fun.
I know. It's like being in the store.
It is like being behind the counter.
You're coming in and, asking questions.
That's right. And here we are.
I want to make this, and how do I do this?
I know. And that's our favorite part.
And I need that.
Yeah.
And
that was our favorite part of the store. Just like this. So we had another question actually from a customer named Amy, and this actually will lead us into what we're doing today, which is our bead along. So she wrote in and she said, I was so excited when I received Nicole's beauty kit. She bought beauty. And I couldn't wait to get started on the project right away. And this is the color palette for beauty. Some of you probably have that one. And she, so some of this we're going to address actually in next week's bead along. But I just wanted to write this out or read this out so you guys know what's kind of coming up. She said she found on section 8, the section 8 of the project, that her beads tended to lean to the one leg she was wrapping the KO around. Some of the beads have almost twisted around to the back through wear.
Are you going to show? Yeah,
That's
show.
this.
Right.
This is the section 8, the beaded herringbone. And please explain on Facebook Live when you get to that section. So yes, Amy, we're actually going to be addressing this next week. But what we're doing this morning, we are talking about herringbone because that's the first stitch in this project. So we'll talk a little bit, a little bit about the importance of the tension of keeping, because it really all comes back to the tension. She said she also improvised on some parts of the wrap as she was so drawn to the Maryland pattern. She added the 3-color beaded herringbone and spiral to her bracelet. Again, at the beading herringbone, the beads seem to want to do their own thing, which makes what I thought was too tight herringbone become a little bit loosey-goosey.
So could we just take a minute, just go to your computer,
Sure.
bring up in the project section, explaining just the kits
Yeah.
versus what is Maryland and what is My Stitches in Time. So,
So the background of this project
Right.
is a tribute to our colleague Nicole.
right, who passed away unexpectedly last spring, and several of the designers who knew her well, Becky Tenike and Brittany Ketchum. Now it's Brittany Ketchum-Roney.
Yes.
Congratulations, Brittany. We felt that there needed to be something to recognize her, and thank you to Brittany for spearheading this.
Yes.
Finding a good cause to donate.
Yes.
And creating the beginnings of this.
This whole
So
thing.
I have here. I have here the samples that.
And we've got
That
this one here too.
So I'd like to start first with just a moment of background. So we don't have a lot of Nicole's samples here, unfortunately. Many of these projects were done in 2011. That's 6 years ago. So we do have just a couple of her projects, and we have here. This is one of her 5 stitches, and she's using on this particular one. She loved using cubes, the gemstone cubes. She loved using the little tiny sparkly gemstones.
Yeah, look at those. Those little faceted, microfaceted
And
ones.
then she did all these like crazy stitches with multiple strands of Chinese
cord.
knotting cord. She just, so there are like 5 stitches. There's the spiral, there's the macrame with the bead on the outside, then there's just the macrame, then there's this is the crazy herringbone where the beads are going
kind of interlock into
right. And then she also did laddering. So there's a video on this. Then the other project that she's really well known for is the herringbone weave. And that, I was just looking for the blue-green
I
one.
have it. I
Because
have it
I
right
was
over
trying
here.
to stay within the color palette. Okay. So this is, again, where she likes using these tiny gemstones. This one primarily focuses on the herringbone stitch. Now, this isn't the herringbone stitch that's done with super duos. This is a thread herringbone where it's angled this way. That's
to
why
create
it's
that
the
herringbone, that weave.
Exactly. So this is, there were 2 really big projects that Nicole did. And then from there, samples for this upcoming celebration of her life started taking
Kind of
on
derived from those.
literally a life on of their own. So some of it is 5-stitch, some of it is herringbone. And then when I got samples back from both Brittany and Becky, and we wanted to share this and raise money, is when I said, well, we really, because Nicole's projects are advanced. We may label them intermediate, but anyone who's trying them will know, how do I handle
Right,
6
like all
feet,
these
6
threads and
KO
lettering,
and,
right.
and the
It's
little,
a good challenge.
it is. So I said, okay, I really want to honor these beautiful samples and put them up so they're on the website under 5-stitch.
And so you can find them here.
Right. And so this one is called Marilyn because in the collage there's Marilyn Monroe. And then so this one. So if you're an advanced beader and you don't want to go with the kit, go straight to 5-stitch on our project page. Open up Marilyn, for instance, and have a great time. And then the other one
My Stitches in Time
that Brittany did is more true to form to the 5-stitch, but she does add the herringbone in it, and it's very in keeping with the size and volume that Nicole would do her projects.
Well, and the whole cool thing I think about this project in particular, and what really spoke to me about this kind of coming into it, by just seeing these finished pieces, was it's kind of like a smorgasbord of ideas, and so you can leave in what you like, take away what you don't, and really kind of work to the spirit of this project, which I think is so cool. And we do have, you guys, if you go to our front page on our website, if you do want to see all of the palettes and everything that were put together, there's a Remembering Nicole page, and when you scroll down, not only can you see where we are donating the proceeds, some of the proceeds to these kits in Nicole's memory, but it also shows the beautiful color palettes that Brittany put together based on Nicole's Pinterest boards.
They're just gorgeous.
We've got Grace, we've got Beauty, there's that Marilyn Monroe image, and thirdly, we have the Kindness palette. So if you did want to work with those and choose your own color palette, they're right there on the Remembering Nicole page, which you can access right from our front page all the way. There's a little box there, or you can just click on this editorial that Janice wrote.
Right.
So that being said, let's take a look. So you interpreted these great, so we have several ways. We've got the projects that both Brittany and Becky did, but we also created, to streamline this project, into 3 different kits.
Kits, and then with project pages.
Project landing pages.
And its own handout, so that after watching the videos, and going to the project page, getting your kit in the mail, you can then go to the handout and go, okay, how do I make this? And then my feeling is that once you have this under your belt, then that makes much more sense.
It makes much easier. And one of the things that you told me when I started to create this was, you said, Kate, the first thing you're going to do, because I created this before a lot of the revamped learning we did, was I just went and I watched all of Nicole's videos.
Right.
And I didn't even make anything.
Right.
I just watched them.
Yeah.
And that was a really big help.
Right. So where shall we?
Well, we've got the kit.
Right. We've got the kit.
Yeah,
Can I
question?
just ask a question?
Sure.
It's related to beading for long periods of time. Actually, your mom asked the question, Kate, and it's a good question because I feel like a lot of people have this question. So she says that when she finds herself beading, she forgets to get up. And then when she finally gets up, she gets really stiff. And she's wondering if you guys have any suggestions for reminders to move around more regularly.
It's a good question, Ma. And what I do, I have a tendency to do the same thing. You get all, in there with your beading.
See how I'm gritting my teeth?
Right.
Because this is like a subject. The older you get,
the more
stiffer.
you gotta move.
Oh, yeah.
No, for sure. And so one of the things that I do sometimes is I set my alarm, my phone alarm. And I know my cousin Zoe Pye, if Zoe's out there watching, Zoe has an Apple Watch that she loves. And sometimes I see her, if we're out together, whatever, and she'll check it and she'll move or she'll do something. So she has her Apple Watch, done. But if you have a Fitbit or something like that,
well, my suggestion, because half the time I'm so excited about beading, I'm too lazy to get up. I don't want to get up. So that doesn't help in the hip department if you're sitting and your hips are hurting. But I get it a lot in my neck and my shoulders, and even just as I do like a few stitches, and my body starts to tell me, I will do the neck rolls, I'll do this. Even just like when I'm in the retirement home and we're going to do the chair exercises, even if you just work on relieving the tension in your upper body, because we're like this, and you can feel it right back here.
Right there.
So do just like on the computer when they,
Do a few of these.
Do the computer exercises. Get your shoulders back, head like this. This.
Take a moment.
Exactly, and then get up like Okay, when I like to have the TV on in the background.
I do too.
I know, because I just love what's going on right now. But when the show changes, that's my indication at the half hour.
Yeah, you're done.
Then I get up and
Mine
I move
is
around.
when my coffee cup is empty. I've got to go refill it. So
We have a few suggestions.
Yeah, great.
Ginger says she uses an egg timer. Gita says she sets her alarm for every 30 minutes. And Faye says that she sets her iPad to play an album while she's working, and when it's finished, she gets up to move around, get water, and stretch. And
that's a good idea.
Gita says commercial breaks, too.
Yeah. Just take some time.
take a moment.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really eat when you're beading, so when you're hungry, and I get hungry about every 30 minutes.
Right? I need a snack. Yeah. Well, pardon me. It's interesting that my mom brings that up because, sometimes my mom and I quilt together. We go on these quilt retreats and stuff, and we will sit there all day and just push that fabric through the machine. So it's really, really important. So good one, Ma. Thanks for reminding us.
Amy says she drinks a lot of water and that makes her have to get up and go to the bathroom. And Rebecca says it helps if you're disorganized like my current situation and have to keep getting up to get supplies. With
That's
the laughing
actually,
face.
yeah, that's a good idea.
That's
too,
a really good
actually.
idea.
So let's just jump in and take a look at this kit. We're going to work with the Kindness kit, the blue one.
Right.
Okay. And so those of you who purchased the kit, this is how it came or how it comes. And I think one of the really cool things that we did with this kit was we put exactly, not exactly the right amount, but we broke
Pretty
down
much.
the C-lawn.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit. So this is something that's new that people might be seeing.
Normally we have the C-lawn, not with rubber bands when it goes out to you.
But it's a good way to keep it all tamed, right? That's your little
I
tip.
try.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, that one kind of got loose because I took it off. But we normally sell C-lawn in spools of. I'm guessing now it's 77 or 82 yards
I'll
for
have
the
to check.
regular, and then it goes to 200
Goes up
something
from
for
there.
the fine. And then we just asked our supplier, Caravan
86.
Beads, could we have what we need for a kit? And this is not as affordable to sell, like if someone says, well, I only need 2 yards. If we go to just sell those in 2-yard increments, it's going to be way more expensive than getting it
buying
this
it in
way
bulk.
per yard. But if there's enough demand out there and people start saying, hey, look, I just want 3 yards at a time, we could probably get Barry at Caravan said, they could do it. So,
But the cool thing about this is we're able in a kit like this to add a whole bunch of colors without having to add all this thread
price.
that you don't need.
and the price of the kit goes skyrocketing. So that's what we did. We made the kit work for basically the amount of materials.
So
we
how much
also
is on, I'm sorry, but how much is on, so this is 2 yards?
2 yards.
And so this really directly relates, this 2-yard length really directly relates to the color.
Right.
So this is 2 yards.
Right.
So you don't have to go, oh my gosh, I've got to measure to get this.
No,
Exactly.
Not if you have the kit. If you are making it 6-7 months from now, we don't have the kit because this is a limited edition kit. The handout and the project page do
Will
say
reflect a
cut
spool.
2 yards of C-lawn in this color. So,
And then you were going to also mention, Janice, here about the beads and stuff.
Yeah, so this project uses a couple of 8/aughts. It
These guys here.
uses a tile. It uses a
Some of the
little shadows, and then it uses my glasses. Okay, then it uses a couple of 11/aughts and a 4mm. And a bead that covers the transitions. Nicole loved to use jump rings. I have to say though that
I'm going to grab it so we can see it.
if Nicole had worked here when we started getting in the shadows and we started getting in the Pony and Pony Express, she would have said, hey, I would have used that instead of the jump rings.
So you can see that those
Yeah.
both serve the same purpose.
So,
Cool. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to attach the project
Right.
to the board.
right. So in the kit comes 3 yards. And 3 yards, you had said we wanted to talk just a little bit. Which
About
I think
sizing,
is,
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
thank you.
we should do that.
Let's do that first.
thing. So, so when you do your wrist, you want to go like this, right? No, I don't want you to go like that.
No.
You want your wrist like
Oh,
this.
okay.
Because now in this case, it goes up here. It lives up here on us. But this I call the hips of your wrist. If you were doing a chain bracelet or a beaded bracelet that would hang, you would measure a little further down. You don't want it to come down over your hips.
Right.
But you want it to just live right here because that's really graceful. So for this one, you don't need to put it down here,
Okay.
but in general for measuring,
We want to see where it falls.
Yeah, you want to
Okay.
see where it falls. So for this, because we don't want it too tight, we want to be able to put our finger underneath it because the
Okay.
beads have volume. So you can't take a measurement like this, like, oh, okay,
There it is, and it's real
it's
tight.
a little too
Right.
tight. You want to go a little looser. And then as you're beading, you can always, modify this. But let's see what that comes out to, and let's see if that's close to what you...
Let me get I had a fresh handy tape here, or because that's not.
This is wrong.
That's
This
what I-
starts at 2.
I know, that's why I got the wrong one. There we go.
Okay, so this...
I knew it was here somewhere.
So this is, you're a 7-inch, would you say your wrist?
Yeah.
Is that what you go by? Okay, so the math is really pretty simple. Depending on how many wraps you do, you would take that 7 inches and you would multiply it by the number of wraps. You want to do a 5 wrap. 7 times 5, the last time I checked, was 35 inches. So your button, is going to add a bit of length. Your loop for your button is going to add a bit of length. So your actual beading isn't going to be 35 inches. Your beading is really actually going to be about 33 inches long. So if you have the length of like 1 yard, well, 1 yard, if you just took it, would go, that's 36 inches, that would go around 5 times. Now, in order to go around and then go back, because we need 2 pieces of leather, we have to double that number. So if we double that, that's 2 yards or 72 inches. Now, in the kit, we recommend 3 yards.
Just so we have plenty to work with.
Right, and there are people with an 8.5 inch wrist, or someone says, I want to make it as an anklet. So we can't go for my wrist or your wrist. We have to go with plenty. So that's why we have 3 yards.
So you can see here also with this one how I've just added the button. If we look at from the end of this macrame to where the button knot is, this is almost a full inch.
Right.
So,
Right.
and it's a good rule of thumb that your clasp is going to add at least an inch. Now, the question that I get a lot with measuring, which is why I wanted to bring this up, is people ask, so where's the best place to add length on this project? Like if they're following your little
Right.
our directions, and the directions
Right.
all have the how long to make each
Right.
of these. My feeling is that it's easiest to add your length when you're doing a simple stitch, like this herringbone or like this spiral. I don't know.
Well, in this particular design, the easiest place to add it is at the end. it's the herringbone.
The herringbone, and you can just keep going.
And you can, and you're trying it on, and then you can go, okay, I need it a bit longer, or I need it a bit shorter. And that's what happened here. I was
just keep herringboning.
I was enjoying spiral, and I have 2 yards, I can go at any length I want. And then I would try it on and go, whoa, it's just a little too short for me, or I don't want it that long. And so that's why this section
is at the end.
Is what it is. But that's what I would do. Just keep trying it on, and then finishing up with something. One of the things I'm learning more and more as we do kits and we try to get our learning all really even.
Standardized, right?
Is at the same time, if you're working with supplies of beads at home, lay your project out and make sure, like if you go, well, I want to keep laddering. I want to, well, with the kit, we've given you enough beads to do this project, not necessarily to do it in a revised way. So a section where you might be able to, if you lay your beads out and you go, okay, I need so much here and then so much there, it's really helpful. So
to allot your beads out.
Honestly, if
so
I could count all the times I've run out, holy moly, I've run out. So this is also another section.
This one, because we do have some.
We have
get
some
a whole
extra,
strand.
but you're not going to have a lot of extra seal on there. You have extra beads, so you could add extra beads here into your laddering section if you wanted. But overall, I would say it's this end which would make it really easy to add it.
Okay.
So cut your full length of not cut, but unravel use your full length.
And this is a 2 millimeter leather, 1.5 millimeter.
1.5,
okay.
yeah, because the 2 millimeter will not fit through the Pony Express. There's so many things.
Questions so far, Grace?
I think this is regarding the bracelet length as a whole, and it says, Linda asks, do you allow for additional length for wraps as they stack when wrapping? Like wrap over wrap as they don't always lay flat.
And so that's why when Janice says, Linda, to try it on. What I did, this was a sample that I made. I made this one. And I will tell you, I didn't try it on. And I was finishing it up here. And when I finished it, and I tried it on, and it was too short. And I went into Karen and Grace's office, and I went, oh my God, you guys, we've got to get this done. I cut it off. It was too short. It was terrible. So I made, you can see the section here, this herringbone, I actually added it on. So my end herringbone
is longer.
This is longer because I made that length. And just for the same reason that you are mentioning, Linda, when I wrap my piece, because I like my bracelets to kind of all bunch up together. So if I'm wrapping it around and wrapping it around and wrapping it around,
it adds more than this.
It'll add, and I might even like my bracelet to be, this one just fits me. I won't take the time to button it. So like with this one that I made just a hair longer, by adding that length at the end, I have a little more wiggle room for me, so when I wind this on, it's going to fit me just right. Just there.
And I think that the whole point of trying it on is so important. We're doing a project now where it's focusing on gift giving, and so we've put in the general sizes of wrists, what would be a petite, a regular, and so on. And so if you are giving this as a gift, then I would recommend adding, like imagining the person about how large they are, or small they are, whatever, making it that wrist size, and then adding that second loop.
A second loop. So not only do you have a single, like with this one, you can see we've got some space there and some space there. So you can add a multiple.
And then they don't feel like, oh my gosh, it doesn't fit me, I'm too big, doesn't fit my wrist. We don't want anyone to feel we're giving a gift that would, so having that second knot is really,
it's a nice way to make them adjustable. And then it can always be cut off.
Oh, you don't need it? Let's get rid of it. I brought my trusty flush cutters.
But it's a good way to get a multiple in there. So you like using the design board.
I like using
or
everything.
the deep dish,
The
rather.
deep dish. And I also like the ultimate, and I like the macrame board, and I like a baking sheet with sides. I like a shoebox. Anything that I can.
You're an equal opportunity
Absolutely.
bead border.
And my big go-to thing is this cotton thread.
This kitchen twine.
The kitchen, that's the name for
Kitchen
it.
twine.
What, $1.79
Yeah.
at the hardware
Yeah,
store,
it's
and I'm
awesome.
never going to run out.
I know, unless I take it.
I
But
love that
won't
stuff.
take it.
So,
I might take it.
why
Like
I
kite
reuse
string
the
or
same
something.
piece
But we'll
again
pick
and
on-
again.
You do. You do. You
And I
use the
try to
same
get the
one.
knots out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my 2 yards. I do want to get going.
Right.
Okay,
I guess we should.
So we string on the button. We have the 2 yards. We string on the button, and now Nicole doesn't work this way in her videos. I'm just going to show you how I do. I like to work on the back.
Because you can see the connection. I thought that was
can.
ingenious.
I also like when I'm transitioning from one to another, I see the knot that's going to live on the back,
Right.
and I'm more aware of making sure it gets
Right.
covered.
Right, and the knot, right, so you see it
Right.
because it's facing you.
So-
Super smart.
Can I
Yeah.
go around?
Yeah, I guess it's time.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Do you-
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
I guess
come
it's
on
time
around.
for Gracie to move.
Yeah. So.
While Gracie moves us around,
Right.
we'll get in position here.
So we also want to just tell everybody what we're going to do. We're going to start it. Then you're going to work on this section of herringbone, and I'm going to talk a little bit about
the
adding,
chords.
about the chords and adding another thing. So we're not going to just watch grass grow, right?
Right,
Which
as
is
I like to say, we're watching paint dry.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
How's that, Gracie? Do you need any help setting that up, or are you all good? You've got this.
So we are working with 3 yards of leather, and if you're going to use really big beads and it's going to wrap a lot of times, you may end up making it a 4 wrap, which is okay too. And so you let me know when you're ready, okay?
No, it's ready. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
waiting for you to tie it on.
Oh, okay. So I've found the halfway point for the button to go on the leather. I have strung on these beads that I call them the transition beads. This is a replacement for the jump rings that Nicole used. Then I'm going to just at the end, I'm going to put an overhand safety knot in.
Just loosely.
Just,
not super
yeah,
tight.
it doesn't. And then I'm going to, I want to just bring up a few of these beads so that as I do the first transitions, I have a few beads up here. I don't have to take it off the board. And then I'm going to take this, and you can do this a number of ways. You can either thread it through the shank or you can go under it. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap this all the way around. And then I'm going to flip it over. And I've got that, you call it kitchen twine, right?
I call it kitchen twine, yeah.
Kitchen twine. I'm going to take the kitchen twine through, and then I'm just, because it's so reasonably priced, I'm just going to tie a nice secure knot there. And I don't even need binder clips for this because the leather's long enough. If you were using a different kind of board, you might need the binder clips
I always
now.
like to have my trusty binder
But
clips.
I
near.
don't need it now. So here, I'm all ready to go, and I like to just kind of make sure that I'm really working on the back. Did everyone notice that when this was like this, it was sort of sideways? You could do that, but being mindful of getting it to be really on the
straight.
back, then when you start to do your stitch, it's not going to be twisted.
And it's, you can see the tension, it's tight,
Yeah.
but it's not so tight that this isn't movable or flexible.
Right, and if I needed to tighten this up because it was loosening, I could put this under it, and that would also make it easier to go under. And let's say I want to, for instance, I'm going to do the herringbone now. I'm going to take, could I have that? Let me just take this KO. Just so that I can get in a little more easily, I'm going to just put this KO right here. and it kind of just opens it up a little bit
that's
for
a smart
me.
tip. I didn't know that.
I'm not going to leave it there for very long because I don't want the stitches to be loose.
Right.
But just to get myself started.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
a great idea.
So now I'm taking the 2 yards of the light blue, and Grace, I'm going to pull the board up
Sure.
like we had talked about, okay? Kate's really good at this. I'm just learning.
Janice, you
no,
are just
no,
fine.
no. Okay, so I'm going to find the halfway point
Yeah.
in my 2 yards. So it's 2 yards. It's 1
And
yard.
this is regular Ceylon.
This is regular, yeah. And so I'm just underneath the button up here, and this is basically how Nicole does the herringbone. She goes under, brings it over, and then the one that you go, oh well, which one should go back? You're always going to take the one that's higher.
on top, right.
So this one's on higher, so you bring that one under and over, and then your next stitch is always done with the one you just finished. So I just finished coming over to this side, so I'm going to go under here. I'm going to push it up a little bit, and then I have to ask myself, well, which one is next? It's always the higher one.
The one
so
on
that
top.
the one on top. So then I go under here, and as you go, you can move it up, and then so which one goes now? The one I just did.
Mm-hmm.
So when the cords are on the same side, is when you go, which should I do next? And you
the one on
always
top.
the one on top.
Now, what I'm noticing, Janice, is you didn't tie a knot
No.
for underneath, right? You just started right at the button.
Right.
And you started a little further down, and now you're moving it up kind of
Right.
in place.
Right.
And I think probably once you get past maybe the first 5 or 6 stitches, when you start to get past that button,
Right.
it becomes a little bit easier.
Right.
It's the
Right.
button that gives you a little bit of
Right.
sass at this point.
And Nicole always talked about in her videos about covering the leather, and it eventually it does get covered. I think you don't have to anchor the herringbone to anything because there's so much further on down the leather. There's really no place for it to go. I mean, maybe it could move a little bit, but we're going to glue it in other sections. So,
And what I find working with the Ceylon is it does have a little bit of grip.
yeah,
Even
it
though it
does.
is nylon, the grip
It
between the
does.
Ceylon and the leather hangs on pretty well.
So there we go. We're started now.
And now we're
Okay.
just gonna continue our
Right. I just kind of push it up and keep going.
So now we could
Do you want to do this now while
I'll
I
take
do
over and you we can herringbone with really any cord almost, right?
Right.
So I know Nicole
Absolutely.
liked to use Chinese knotting cord.
Yes,
she
which is
did.
what I'm going to show now. So
Okay.
okay, so you
I'm gonna come in. Look
okay.
at me. Bam.
Yeah, there you
the
go.
handoff. I
the
got it.
handoff. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so now I want to just talk a little bit about what we have here, and I'm supposed to use tweezers, everybody.
Well, so that you're.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Melanie wants to know if she needs to add beeswax to the Ceylon.
No.
No. Okay.
You don't need. Now, I know that Nicole talks about using beeswax for the cord that she's using for laddering when she uses KO or tough cord sometimes, and that's in large part because she's not doing the infinity stitch and she wants to get
Have a
the
fluid.
little. Yeah, because when you're laddering from either side of a bead, sometimes the thread just gets a little
tired.
limp, yeah. So beeswax helps, but beeswax is not going to.
Doesn't really strengthen it, or
No, it really doesn't. And you know what's interesting? I'm just going to do a little sidebar with a project that we're just about to launch or fairly soon, and it's on wax linen. I also found that I took a spoon and I scraped off some of the
Did you?
beeswax
Huh.
to get it through the bead holes. Yeah.
to make it skinnier. again.
Yeah, sometimes there's too much beeswax on the wax linen.
Something I want to point out that I'm kind of discovering here.
Yeah,
I want to show this. These are the stitches. Whoops! These are the stitches that Janice. I don't know if you can see this, Gracie. These are the stitches that Janice did earlier. These guys. And yes, I'm using my tweezer. And you can see the ones that I'm doing here. My tension
Is tighter. Yeah.
And that will also affect, pardon me, the length of your piece.
Right. I
Because-
like yours better.
Well, no, it's,
I like it. I do. I like it
I'm
better.
starting to, even with my tight tension, see how I'm shredding a little bit with my thumbnail right there.
Well, you're
So I need
shred.
to really
Be careful of the leather.
Yeah, that's what I need to be careful of. Because I have a tendency to want to push it up and use my fingernail as I'm doing that. So that's what's happening there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep, but I just wanted to show that as
Okay.
it's kind of an interesting thing.
Okay.
Now show people what you did to walk away, that little trick with the binder clip.
Okay, so let's say you're doing your herringbone stitch and you do want to get up and stretch, right?
Change the
I change the channel, get a snack. I like to have 2 binder clips, and I do this with different stitches, whether it's laddering or macrameing. I will have 2 binder clips handy, and I just binder clip them to the side, and my tension never changes.
It's really a good idea. I'm using a lighter touch, and it's already better.
Oh, good.
So I'm not so heavy-handed with my scraping.
So this is I just want to before we get into this is not a project. This is just a demo, and I've got a button on. I've tied it on the back. I haven't even used the cord. And this is something that Grace and I were working on to do a handout on, just a quick skill builder, which we'll post on herringbone transition. And so this is done with some Ceylon. Then I added in another color, which I'm going to show how to do in a couple of minutes. And then because this is 2mm leather, which won't fit the Pony Express, we use the pony beads, the metal pony beads.
Which is also really pretty.
Right.
I like that 2mm.
Right. So what I started here was to show you the herringbone with the 5mm Chinese knotting cord.
Is this 5 or is this 8?
No, this is 5.
5,
I
okay.
wanted to do 5 first
Okay,
because the
gotcha.
5 is the closest in size to the Ceylon. And Grace, do you want me to pull it back, or is that okay?
It's fine. I can see it.
Okay.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Or Christine actually has a question. She asks if anyone has used the Naughty Do It All. She says, I'm not affiliated, just a fan. Best tool for wrap bracelets, and in particular, maintaining tension and minimizing body strain. She says it's more expensive than a bead tray. However, she finds it's worth every penny.
Oh, that's good to know. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's Sandra Younger's, the Naughty Do It All is her. I've seen her use it. I haven't had the experience with it, but that's great. It's a great tip.
I don't know if I've tried it. At my age, it's hard to remember now if I've tried it or not. Oh,
One of
so
the
you're
things
showing
that I
like
wanted
the
to
4
show,
yeah.
So see, this
Let
is
me
the
get
one.
my hands out of the way.
I know I should be herringboning, but
No, that's
see
okay.
that
Just let me get my hands
Yeah.
out of the way. Just give me.
Yeah, no worries.
Just there. Okay.
There. So see, this is the Chinese knotting cord. That's the 4mm.
And
Is that
that's
right?
the Maryland sample. Yes.
This is the Maryland sample, and this Becky used 2 colors. But see how the 4mm around, what's this leather? It was
It's around the
1.5?
the 1.0.
the 1.0.
Yeah.
So see the difference even by just changing the size of the leather and the size of the cord. You get, a bigger stitch or a smaller
So
stitch.
and then this is, if you want to, this is the 5 around a 1.5 versus it's a little thinner because the leather's a little thinner. Okay. So now what we want to do, I don't have to go too much further. I want to show how you can add another color of Ceylon. So
Chinese knotting.
Chinese knotting cord, or you could do Ceylon.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So in the video, Nicole talks about knotting off your old cord and then starting your new herringbone below it. Oh, thank you, Kate. I've kind of found that I'm not so sure you still have to do that.
Okay.
So I'm going to do what she does, which is she just slaps on just a dab, and in the video she also says, "Oh, that's too much," and then she goes like this.
And that's
And that's kind of
hypo
cute.
cement.
Yeah, this is the GS Hypo Cement. And, you kind of know, and she says it's even better to have it a little tacky. And then I'm going to just continue doing this for a few more stitches.
I just love this stitch.
It's very relaxing, isn't
Yeah.
it? And you don't need to buy a lot of beads.
No, it's all, it's
Yeah.
really cord forward.
Yeah, cord forward in this day and age. Okay, so...
Ginger loves your leather bracelet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's perfect.
We can't keep those surround... Oh, sorry. We can't keep the surround in stock
Yeah,
and
I
that
love
leather. Thank you so much. Okay, so now this is sort of how I have adapted it 6 years later. So I'm going to go like this. So I've reinforced this with some glue, and that glue is going to dry. And then now I'm going to just,
Let that suck.
I'm going to secure this on the board for a minute. And then I'm going to get a new piece of Chinese knotting cord. And I had...
Got a whole bunch over there. And
yeah, there's the brown one.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them is, I wanted to try an 8. That's a 5. Can I have an 8? Yeah. So I wanted to also show a little thicker because this is the 5 millimeter. I wanted to get a new piece. And I thought I was all prepared, and I don't know where
it's
my
probably on the
preparedness went.
But that 8 millimeter, the Chinese knotting cord, like you said, you could mix it with the Ceylon.
Yeah,
You
of
don't
course.
have to just stick with one cord.
No, you don't have to.
I like, I think that the 8 millimeter Chinese knotting cord sometimes gets overlooked a little bit. I like a heavier cord.
It's very nice. Okay, so so this is where Nicole would have knotted it, and I am starting to believe I don't know that it needs to be knotted. And she also would start from the video. She would knot it and then start it below it. So I'm starting to go, wait a second. Why don't we start it above it? We've done. You could put the two together, but what I have started doing, and it seems so far to be working, and I'd love to see you guys out there if you do it. So I'm just going to add a little more glue here, just a little bit more, and then I am going to start my next cord without a knot.
It's just pretty seamless.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do it.
Oh, okay,
I
thanks.
got it.
Okay, I'm sure how do we get that needle back in there? That's the 64.
Right.
Everyone wants to know that. We should do a video on just that.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to then just add this in.
That, I think, is a really great tip because it's super seamless. And notice, you guys, how as Janice is going to come around, the transition is just going to kind of meld together. Because later what you're going to do is you're just going to cut those ends away, right, Janice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got them secured inside. You could also, if you want, you could run those cords inside the leather, bring them in, and then wrap over it.
Right.
But yeah, so I think this is an example of, make it work for you. If you're selling your jewelry and you want to try wearing it, it's very different making jewelry that you're going to wear, and that when you get to the part of the day where you're washing your hands and maybe your jewelry gets wet, it's very different than when you're making jewelry that you're reselling and you don't really know how it's
gonna be
being
taken
worn.
care of,
And I've seen people, like, I swim every day. I've seen people in the pool with ladder bracelets on. I'm going, oh my goodness.
We'll be seeing you at the repair.
So I don't want to cut it now, but I want to show you, and I'm going to turn it over so you can see, and then I'll show you one that we did. So let me just hold this for a second, and I'll just turn it over. You can't really see now, but it's just one the back is just the one, and then these will get cut off right here. But you have to make sure it's glued. You can't do this without
a little glue.
yeah. So
Now, could you also then, Janice, would that be a way to add a second color into your bracelet, and you could herringbone then with both of these now?
yes, I
Right?
could have.
I could.
I could have like just added another color in, and then done
Done
the
some
two
two
together.
color.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to keep going, and let's get it right again. Oh, here we go. Okay, so when you go, well, which is it which? You just go back, take a stitch out, and then find your center of gravity again. I have to stop hitting that arm. So how are you doing, Kate? Can we?
I'm pretty close.
You are, okay.
I'm getting there. I'm herringboning as fast as I can. One of the tips, so we'll be ready to move into the laddering. And even so, we can just keep
Yeah, you
going
could,
with this.
well, you could, we don't have to go the full total length to get to the next section, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I am
so,
at, in our sample, so yeah, let me do just a few more
Okay.
stitches here, and then we'll be
Okay.
ready to go.
Okay.
Because I was talking too much while I was supposed to be herringboning.
Herringboning. That's
I
a
couldn't
strange.
Let me just
Yeah,
interrupt
questions?
really quick.
Yeah. Good job.
Gita so kindly reminds viewers who are just tuning in that Janice is working on the front side and not the back side as she showed earlier, because you turned it around. Because when you showed underneath the adding, was that the
Was that the back or the front?
The adding, that's a good question.
I think you started the back side on the one that Kate's working on, but this is just an example to show how to add.
I'm still working
Is
on
it
the back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still working on the back. Oh, you mean because
What
you'll
that
see that.
connection is.
So let's look at where's one that I've done. Okay, so let me take it off the board a second.
Well, Melanie also wants to know, could you start the transition of the cord from the other side, as in facing you? Then you won't see the straight line with the new thread that you just showed. And Geeta's asking if she's wrong. Let me see here.
So this is the one that I had done earlier, and that's this is the straight line that I have is on the front. It could be the front or the back, because for me I go underneath and I have it this way. So it looks better on this side, so I suppose it would be better to flip it over and start it the other way so that your back side gets this.
Gets the
Yeah.
straight line. That's a
Yeah.
good tip, though.
That's a very good tip. So, but for this here, I will then cut this off, and then that just lives inside this. So I'm going to do it now.
And we use GS hypo glue.
Yeah, that's the glue.
It's this one, right?
Yeah, so Geeta, you're right. The best thing to do is to flip it over and then do that, bringing the cord underneath from the back.
And again, this
I don't even
cord
think about it.
is so fine that in the long run, it probably visually doesn't make that much of a difference. But it's also a good, like with this little sampler that we're making, it's a good way to discover, what the best method is. None of this is written in stone, that's for sure.
Right. So that's adding the thread in, and then the transition is easy to do. So
And you can see also the difference. That's the
5
millimeter
versus the 8. Yeah,
Going
it's
to
a
the 8.
little bit. It's a bit heavier. There's no doubt about it. It's heavier.
All right. So am I
Okay,
ready to
yeah.
hand this back to you?
Yes, I've got.
Okay. I guess I'm ready.
Okay, so.
Okay. Do you want the stitches both on one side, or just so it's one and one?
Just one and one,
Okay,
and then we're
got it.
going, yeah, so end.
Like this.
And then Nicole talks about when you're adding another thread to herringbone, you want to add it in, and the best thing to do is watch the video. You want to add it in where
You have a
break going in the other direction. And you know, I was explaining to you this morning that I am really good at the fluidity of my own projects, at least usually. It's a lot harder when you're trying to be truthful and, you know, reflect someone else's.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you have...
There it is.
Okay, there's that. So let's put this under here.
Okay.
Will you hold the...
I
It's so
will.
nice having an assistant.
Right.
Did I just put a knot in this, Kayla?
I don't know. I'll look at it.
Okay.
There, you do
All
that.
right.
I'll get this KO.
Okay, so this is the
There we go.
back.
Hand off.
And
Bam.
then, for those of you who have already printed out your handout, there is a typo. And we revised it today. There are places where I said overhand knot. And in fact, Nicole also said overhand knot. And
In the video, yeah.
And she meant really a half knot, a half square knot. But I'm going to end, because this is a beginner level project, I'm ending with a square knot, which is right over left and then left over right. I'm working on the back. And then, is that okay?
Did you want a knot at the end?
Well, I needed that knot when I was, you kind of need the knot in case you need to bring the thread through.
So how much KO? So this is the KO,
Right.
How much KO did you cut? About?
I think it's about 3 yards.
Okay. And we threaded it through the size 12 beading needle.
We have a size 12 beading needle, and then above the seal-on, I'm just going to tie on my KO. And I have a safety knot in here. I talk about it in the handout, that you need, like about 3 inch, and you don't want to just have a little end, because what we're going to do, and then you're going to, put glue on all of that. Could you hand me a flexible eye needle? So before we go to our laddering, we have to bring all of these threads through this Pony Express. So I'm going to bring my needle, my KO through, and I will, in just a few minutes, I'm going to put a little glue on. I'm going to bring through, and I'm using a flexible eye needle, and I love these guys because they have an eye big enough to fit really pretty big cords, but then they kind of flatten down when they go through a bead with a smaller hole. So I'm going to go through.
One
with
thing
that.
I'm noticing also, Janice, is you're making sure that your leather under there is not twisted.
Right,
These
yes.
two legs of leather are just sitting
Right.
side by side.
So then I'm going to put on the needle onto my other piece of seal-on. Now I'm going to get rid of the seal-on. I don't need it for this next section, but I don't cut it here. I don't cut it yet. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to get those tails of the KO. And
So those are the tails from the other side.
Right, right.
The
And I-
non-needle side.
right, and I'm
with
going to
your
bring
safety
that
knot.
through too. And I found that when I was doing this, not having that flexible eye needle was really
difficult.
exhausting. Yeah. Just like, how do I keep getting those threads through? Okay, so now I'm going to get it nice and taut, and then I'm going to take my glue.
Your glue.
Wherever.
I gave you the glue right in front of Where did our glue go? Oh, there it is.
Okay, so I'm going to, where's my little baggie?
Your baggie is here. We can't.
I don't really drip, so
You
I'm
know,
not a
I
dripper.
like a
I
rule.
know, a rule is a rule. So I'm going to just cover a little bit here and a little bit of the leather.
And really saturate that thread
Yeah.
with the glue.
And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to literally pull on these cords,
To help you leather
and
it up.
now I've got it up where I want it, right?
Nice.
Now,
And all of that transition is hidden under the
Right.
whole of that bead.
Now, most important thing,
All right.
take the thread you don't want to cut.
Okay, and hand it to me.
And put it
Put
to
it
the
away.
side.
Right.
I can tell you from personal experience, I have cut the wrong bit of leather
Right.
or the wrong cord. So get that out of the way so you don't have to worry about it. Now I'm going to come in with flush cutters, and I'm going to cut away.
Cut away. Cut
Cut
away.
away,
Like you mean it.
yeah.
So you don't usually wait for the thread to dry?
No, I'm too busy. I'm too busy.
All right.
I want to
Too busy laddering.
I want to get beading now. So now is what I do to start my laddering. I will put something in between so that I have an opening, so that I can start that. And so this is what we're working to right now. We're going to start, and you know, I'd love to say it's always going to be perfect and it's going to be a nice, but it isn't always. And you know what? It doesn't matter really. But we're starting here with 1 bead, then 2, then 3. We're working our way up.
We're tapering.
We're tapering up.
And that's a question I think we get a lot, Janice, for people say, well, how do you prevent that first bead when you're laddering? How do you prevent that from popping up?
You want to create a bit of air between where like your knot is by your button. You don't want that to be too tight, and you also want to reinforce that first bead several times. That's the trick. So I'm going
you're
under.
doing and this is the infinity stitch
Right,
that we're doing.
right. And I'm moving my flexible eye needle out of the way. It's over there, Kate.
Okay.
I've gone underneath the leather so that I can start my stitch. And my first stitch is this, right? So I take the first bead, and there's, you know, we didn't invent this stitch. This is just something we came late to the game. And I'm so glad we found it. And I can't tell you, I can't remember where I first saw it. So we've got the first bead. I came over this leg of the leather, which means I go under this. So it's always over, under, over, under.
Like an infinity
That's
or a
it.
figure 8.
So
That's what
now
you're
I'm going
thinking.
to, and what I like to do is I just hold it in underneath. Then I take my needle, I bring it under.
Under that leg.
Yeah, it's hard to see until I get, so it's in the leather there now, right? Now what I do is I'm going to then go,
You're going to go back.
I'm going to go back through, and it's very tempting now to go over.
Right. That's
But-
what I like to do.
Yeah, no, you want to go under. However, it's not always easy to go under as you go over.
So go
sometimes
over.
sometimes you go okay. So bring it over and then just put your hand on that bead, and it also helps keep the thread from getting, you know, if some people are like getting really caught with their KO or whatever, yes, you could use beeswax here. Okay. Don't forget, go under. Gotta go under. Because what happens is if you don't stay with the over and under, your
be
beads will
funny.
pop. So it's easy to go through it. So I want you to reinforce
Reinforce that
twice.
first one.
Right. And then go under.
And that also helps not make it pop up.
Right.
Right.
This bead should not pop up. There's no reason why, if you give a little air from here to here, and then as you ladder, you give, you get to the point where you have the nice tension. It really shouldn't. Sometimes if beads start to pop up within the laddering, they've either gotten too close, or you didn't leave room at the other end. So, okay, now I have to go under, and then my rule, you create your own rule, but I only add beads from this side. That's so then when I'm doing like a 2-hole tile bead like this, I don't know if you can see that, Grace. Can you see? So when you're doing a 2-hole tile bead, it is so easy to go, oh, I got to go back through, forget the second hole, or go start adding another bead from that side. So I only add from, I always think left. So if you always do that. And same with a square knot. I always start right over left, so that, and then I go, well, which one do I do now? I always know which I'm doing. So now I'm putting on the 2.
Hey, Janice.
Yeah.
Melanie wants to know, she says it looks like you're using the KO doubled up.
Yes, yes. Yes, Melanie, I absolutely, I am. I know for such a long time we did KO single and we laddered from each side. But this way you get that, you get much more
Much more strength. Yeah. Much more support.
Yeah, so I see how I'm pulling it up a little bit to be able to get into that bead hole. And then I'm keeping the pressure on the bead while I pull it through. And then, Kate, what do I have to do now?
Now you go under.
Now I have to come back and go under.
Under,
Under, and then that's where I add my next bead. And so we're going up to 3.
And so with that taper, and just depending on the sizes of your beads, you could also, with that taper, start with a small seed bead and then go up to whatever your regular bead is that you're going to use.
So on this side, it's pretty easy. As I bring the needle, I can just go under. I don't have to put it in place. Once you get those first few beads, you can just go, okay, well, I can go under now, and then I will move this up. You see I'm moving the spool up a little bit to get a little more distance. And then I'm going to push that up, hold it in place, find my needle all the way down here. We also have the skill builder on how to add a thread into a project. And do you want to just say, Kate, how you find the skill builders?
So if I'm
sort of like a little
it's
bit
a
of
little bit of a little bit of a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
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 Do you want to? Can you get it up there? Grace. So if I'm on our home page, okay, and we've got our top row, there's our project page right there. And we click on projects, and here's everything we've got, including simple stitches and time that we're working on. And as we scroll down, we see our skill builders right there. Skill builders, you guys, is a treasure trove of ideas and products or projects. We've got right here, as we scroll down, you can see all of the cool things, the how to ladder, how to add a thread to a laddering project, which is right there. So we've got a lot of great what we call skill builders to help you out. How to macrame, we're going to be doing that soon with this too.
Right.
So did you want me to keep going with this and you can...
No, I figure that I know we're over our hour. This is at this point it's not brain surgery. Right. Does everyone feel like between now and next week you could work on your laddering and get this section? This is this section
complete.
And then what we'll do next week is we'll end it and start the spiral. So
the thing that you wanted to mention, I think we want to make sure with the tile beads, guys, is you want to make sure that you catch both of those. So why don't you just slide a tile bead on this, Janice, just so everyone can see.
Yeah. So I'm not doing the specific pattern. Oh, thanks. Boy, I could not do. I really have such respect for brain surgeons. So all kinds of surgeons. Okay, so I'm going under, and then I'm going to add a tile bead. So I go through the first hole.
And the tile, it's just like a flat tile. It's just a flat little 2-hole bead.
And I moved this down a little bit because the tile bead is a little thinner than the 3 8/0 beads. If I keep it up here, it's going to go too wide. So I push that down, and then of course I want to go under. I have to bring it under. And the big thing to remember is don't go back through the second hole yet. You want to go back through the first hole.
So you're treating this bead with the 2 holes
Yeah.
as if it were 2 beads.
Right. Oftentimes, if you forget that second hole, which, boy,
do.
I used to do all the time.
I still do.
Yeah. Your bead you'll go, wait a second, why is that bead like that?
Why is it flopping
Why
around,
is that-
kind of? Yeah.
What happened? Why is that bead? Because what we did is we went to the next bead and forgot to go through, that second hole. So here we go. We've got our second, and the other thing is, don't forget to go under. It's very easy to just want to go, oh, well, let me just go around to that next. No, you got to go through. You have to go through the second hole, and you have to go under and over. So,
Just a thank you to Gita who posted our skill builders, but it also looks like we posted.
You pinned it, yeah.
Yeah, we pinned. Was that you, Kate?
It was. Look at me.
Kate just pinned the information if you want to talk more to that page.
Yeah, so it's every Facebook Live, you guys, you're able to watch our Facebook Lives 3 different ways. And what I did, because I also like watching Facebook Lives, I saw someone and they had pinned a comment to the top. And so it shows how, so you can just go right to that pinned comment up at the top of the comment stream. And if you click on that, that takes you right to our Facebook Live pages right on our website. And for the particular one for this week, after the broadcast, we archive the Facebook broadcast right on our website, so you can watch it that way. We also, Karen takes care of it and archives it right on our YouTube channel, beadshop.com. And of course, they live here under the video tab on our Facebook Live page.
It's a Bead Shop 1, I believe.
Actually,
Is it?
it's,
Did you
when you
change
search
it?
it,
Oh, sorry.
beadshop.com.
Okay, sorry about that.
Nope, no worries. I thought I would make it easier.
Oh,
right?
sorry.
No, it's all good.
okay, so
So look at that, how nice that looks.
right. So what do I have to remember?
You go under.
Go under.
She's never going to let me forget it.
Under.
But the thing
Over
that I
the river,
noticed-
through
and,
the woods.
Yes, under that piece of leather. What I noticed when I kept going over,
Yeah.
that the sides, and you can check that the sides of my laddering started to look inconsistent. Like, see how the laddering, your stitches all kind of are all really uniform, and they all kind of
Oh, thank you.
yeah, and they all kind of, I guess, slant the same way. When I wasn't going under, my stitches started to slant the opposite way. So I knew that I wasn't being consistent.
So we have the 2. We've done all the holes. You can go back and you can look. Do I have all the holes done? And then
Looks
that's
great.
how you do. You could do
Great.
this also with tiles. It's the
with
same.
tiles.
So I just love the infinity stitch. It's easy, and it's double faster than
Oh, I agree.
this.
So I just wanted to show you guys. So for next week, so what we've done today is we've talked about the herringbone, how to start the herringbone, how to use different weights of thread, seal-on, and Chinese knotting cord, and where you can elongate the piece or shorten the piece if you need it. How to make that transition using the Pony Express, having our knotting underneath, and then starting to taper up to do the laddering. And so if you guys want to follow along, that we just need to get through this part for this week. Next week, we're going to show you how to tie this off, and we're going to start our spiral knot. We'll show you how to do this beaded, what we call the beaded flat knot, right? And then we're going to wrap
pièce
it
de
up,
résistance.
which this one we had that question about earlier today. I told you not to make that noise. No, just kidding. The beaded herringbone, which
Yeah.
is the one that gives all of us
Yeah.
a little bit of fits.
Yeah.
So,
We have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Sally's saying that the skill builder, I know you made a reference to this, Janice,
Mm-hmm.
the skill builder for laddering looks different from this infinity stitch.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
So should we, are we going to be adding one in the next few weeks? Probably?
Well, we have. If you go to, I guess, is it the honeycomb?
Yeah, it's in our honeycombs.
Yeah, there's a really good handout that we should link. It's for a project for a bead we no longer carry because it's so tough. But that's where we started herringbone weaving, and that's
Or the infinity stitch.
the infinity stitch. And if you go to our projects and you go under honeycomb weave, and
I'm
then
going to click on one of these.
and then download the handout.
I'm going to do that right now. You can see, so Janice and her 12 million page
steps.
directions, which is great. They're all, and you guys, if you haven't drilled down into our PDF handouts, it's like a book. I mean, look at how Janice really does take so much time. I'm scrolling. I want to get to that. So see how she's doing it here just like we did it here in the video today. And so it starts by the infinity laddering, would continue to go, and then Janice jumps in with this honeycomb. It's a two-hole bead, just like this two-hole Tyla bead. So this is the PDF. I'm going to scroll right back up. It's the PDF for the honeycomb weave right here, and it's in our honeycomb weave PDF. And we'll add this link to the Facebook Live landing page, okay? So everyone can find it. Okay. Well, that was so.
It's going to be fun doing this.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a great time sharing it with you. Whoops! I almost got rid of my sign here.
If you have questions this week while you're making it and want to get in touch with us,
you know where to find us?
Yes.
You can just
Kate or
email,
Janice.
or Janice at Bead Shop.
Janice.
You can also just direct right to our customer service.
Info at Bead Shop.
Info at Bead Shop. So there's all kinds of ways. Or you know what? You can always. We're only a phone call away.
That's true.
Too.
650-474-0101.
That's right. That's right.
But we're happy to answer questions
we
as
are.
you're making it.
So that brings us to the end of step one, part one.
Yeah.
It was great. Nice job. I learned a lot, actually.
So did
all
I.
about this.
So did I.
Herringbone. I love it. We've got a few things, you guys. As we wrap up, we always like to say what's going on, like promotional wise and stuff, what's happening with us. Today is Wednesday, February 15th, so if you're watching this on replay, I'm sorry that some of these offers are not still valid, but just a note, make sure that you go onto our homepage at beadshop.com, sign up for our newsletters, because our promotional team, which would be you and me and Grace, everyone, our promotional team works really hard on making some really cool promos and stuff for you guys. So make sure to open up your weekend newsletters, okay? For today and going through this week, we have just some store-wide or some I guess I want to
Giveaway?
say, well, I want to say a
Sales?
Category sales. Thank you, Grace. That's what I wanted to call it. And
Starts with
a C. Category sounds like. We have 3 category sales. We've got leather, which is 15% off, and that's all styles of leather, not just round, but our strap leather, our leather that we use for these guys, and our new studded leather is on sale. Metal beads. All metal beads are on sale, also 15% off, which are also these guys here, right? And that would also include our shadows, anything that's a metal bead. And, of course, the indispensable thread for this project, Ceylon, is 10%, and all sizes. So fine, micro, and regular. So that's going on. You don't need a coupon code for it. The prices will be reflected on the site. Question, Gracie?
Jen just whispered in my ear saying that we still have kits available.
Oh, yeah, we do. Thank you, Jen, for reminding us. We do still have kits available for these guys. And if you go to, it's linked on our Facebook Live page for today, the broadcast page. There's links to all 3 of the kits. And we ship out super fast. So if you go ahead and order it today, you'll get it. You should be able to get it by next week. We never like to end a Facebook Live without a little giveaway. And, you know, we've given away a couple of color palettes. The last color palette we gave away was based on the purple
Right.
the purple color palette that Brittany pulled. But today's color palette, Grace and Jen put it together, is based on the Maryland or the Beauty color palette. So the ladies put together, isn't it nice? I'm going to just...
no one shows me these things.
I know, right? It's such a surprise.
It is.
Here, I'm going to do it right on this. That's what I'm going to
Okay.
do. It's a really nice color mix of some different sizes. I'm going to get it all over the table.
That's okay.
But look, there's a super duo in there, and there's some different sizes of seed beads. This would be a great little laddering mix if you just wanted to jump in and ladder.
And then it comes with the 4
It comes with our
that's
our
such a
4
pretty
millimeter, our ginger, one of our newest
Right.
flavors that we have
Right.
in this. So that's your little giveaway. So I know that you guys are wondering how you get this giveaway. And so what you have to do is you have to go to our website, beadshop.com. Don't put it in the comments here in Facebook. But if you place an order, right now it's about 10 to 12 Pacific Standard Time. If you place your order before 1 o'clock today, Pacific Standard Time, and in the shipping notes, in the notes that you write to us, you put, "I love the beauty mix," we will go ahead and send you your cord and bead mix for that. Okay? And it's a palette that we know Nicole would have loved.
Yes. Well, these were her Pinterest boards.
Yeah, our Pinterest
so-
boards was great. And on a note on that, we have gotten several of you writing in to say that they expressed their condolences to us about
They're so
Nicole and
sweet.
how much they really have
Yeah.
enjoyed her project. So, Nicole, this one's for you,
Yes,
Nicole
Nicole.
Anderson.
We did have a
Yeah.
few people talking about how they learned to bead through watching her videos.
Yeah, it's great. It's a
It's
great
true.
legacy that she left for us.
amazing inspiration to all of us, and sorely missed.
Yeah.
Really sorely missed.
Can I also say thank you to everyone who's sharing our videos? We got a lot of shares
Yes.
today.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
great.
You know,
Yeah,
we
thank
always
you.
say that the best advertising is word of mouth. So we really, really appreciate it when you share these broadcasts or forward your newsletter or even write in and say about how you share these with your bead groups and stuff like that. We really do appreciate
Could we just
it.
take a second and explain, because it might have been in the thing, why Nemo is here?
Yeah, do you want to? That's a good way to sign off.
I just want to say, okay, so I take Nemo with me everywhere because of my grandson, Eli, and he will look in a photograph that I send him and I'll go, okay, tell me where Nemo is. And so, Eli, if you're out there, Nemo is going to start being on Facebook.
There's your Nemo. Where's Nemo, Eli? That's
Okay.
awesome.
So,
All right. Well, have a great week.
Thank you. You
Have a
too.
great
Yes.
week. And again, if you have any questions, you know where to find
Yeah.
us. Great job as always, you
Yes.
guys. Great job.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Right.
Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.